This is the Razer Raptor. Oh, you know, monitors, they've always got like a mad name that's really, really hard to remember, really hard to understand. Razer Raptor, it just rolls off the tongue. Every monitor company should be naming their monitors after dinosaurs. It just works. Let's get this thing open. This has got 165 Hz refresh rate. It's 1440p. It's got a 1 ms response time. 27 inches of Razer fanboy goodness. And yes, for gamers, by gamers, love it. So it comes with a calibration report in the box. I'm assuming that this is for this specific panel and this isn't just something that they generally stick into like every single, you know, like a print off that they've done once. But it comes with an average delta E of 0.24. That's pretty impressive straight out of the box, to be honest. However, we will test that. We won't test it in this video. We'll test it for the article that's going to appear on WePC.com in a week or so. Look at these cables, man. So you get that one, which is, I think, Thunderbolt, or it could be USB-C to USB-C, USB extension, HDMI, and we have a display port. Yeah, got a brick with a big green cable on it as well. There's something really satisfying about looking at a monitor that's never been touched and there's just like no fingerprint, no grease, no nothing on it. Look at that! The back of it is like material. It's not plastic. So the back is incredibly different to what we're kind of, I guess, used to seeing with a monitor. Yeah, normally it'd have like a pole section with feet on it, but this is like a flat machined piece of metal that it's a very distinct look. And I imagine once the green wires are in there as well, it's going to look amazing. It does go up and down and it will tilt. It does tilt all the way back. Why would you possibly need your screen to ever do that? Okay, so this is what happens. You're playing some gaming, you're playing some COD Warzone, right? 30 minutes into your game, Chinese arrives. You get some takeout, suddenly you need somewhere to eat. Well, your desk is covered in mice, it's got keyboards on it, you've got your mouse mat on there. Where are you going to eat your takeout? What you're going to do is you're going to tilt your screen all the way back and use it as a small table. No, genuinely, the reason it tilts all the way back like this is so that you can easily access the ports underneath. So this has HDMI, it's got DisplayPort, a couple of USB type A's it looks like, and a USB type C, and then your power. And then it's got this little thing that comes sort of pre-plugged in, which I'm assuming it is for the RGB on the bottom. But I do like that it's a lot easier to access those ports, because if that was like this, you know, you've got your cables coming out through that thing and then it's just like, how are you supposed to see? You just can't get to that. So I have just noticed that I've got all the cables plugged in that come with it. However, when you have a look on this side over here, it does come with 2 USB ports, but it's only got room for 1 USB port in the clip bits in the back. So you have to almost like choose between. I don't know what this other USB port's for, unless maybe you can plug in your phone charger or something like that and have it coming out of the front of the monitor. But I feel like by doing that, you almost like lose a little bit of the aesthetic of the monitor. Something else I've noticed as well, now these cables are super stiff, which makes them look very, very cool. However, they don't like slide through here very well at all. So if you were to have this plugged in as I've plugged it in here, if you look at the cables there, when you go, you have to have quite a bit, I guess, of spare room to go all the way down. And I don't know, I can see the cables at the front. So when you have it like this, when you're first plugging them all in, you know, it feels pretty reasonably like tight or whatever. And then you go like this and you can see all of this underneath. So then what you're going to do is you're going to pull all that through, which is very, very difficult to do. So in order to keep this looking really, really nice and to lose those green loops underneath, what I've done is I've just threaded everything through. But then what happens if you look through here, is you try to move the monitor down and suddenly it's too tight. You can't go all the way down with it and it pulls your cables, and because they're all at like a weird angle, they're just gonna snap. So for me, that's a pretty big design flaw, to be honest. So before I get any further into it, let me just ask you to please subscribe to the channel. Subscribing really helps us. Hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up, get in the comments, let me know what you think. First thing we need to talk about after turning it on is that RGB. Look at that. I think we're all familiar with the fact that Razer likes a lot of RGB on their stuff, and they have not let us down with this monitor. That's probably why the stand is the way it is, because they've had to fit some sort of LED elements and stuff in there just to make it look cool. I like it. So in terms of the panel itself, just before I kind of get started in this dark area, like I do have some studio lights in here, obviously. It does mitigate light pretty well. It's an IPS panel. The viewing angles are okay. Definitely better than what we're seeing with like TN and VA panels and stuff like that. It's 165 Hertz, and the gameplay is very smooth. So it's got that kind of almost bezel-less design, where the bezel is kind of inside the screen a little bit, which I really like that. I find it very, very immersive. It's got contrast ratio of 1000:1, HDR 400, it's 165 Hertz, and this is actually the first monitor to be THX certified. In terms of the color, it's got 95% of the DCI P3 color spectrum, so that is very, very wide. And you know what, the colors are very vibrant from what I'm seeing here. The contrast does look good, it's nice. It's got a 1ms response time, however it needs to be an ultra low motion blur mode for that. It supports AMD FreeSync, so less screen tearing, all that sort of good stuff. It's also G-Sync compatible. Now normally when they use the term G-Sync compatible, it sort of refers to the fact that it doesn't have a G-Sync module in it. However, it will be compatible with like NVIDIA cards and stuff like that. It's 420 nits of brightness, and to be fair, it's okay. It's probably not the brightest gaming one I've seen. I mean, in comparison to something like the G9 that's got like 2000, but I think it's okay. So we just take a look at the OSD. It does have a very nice feeling joystick on the back. Brightness contrast here. Oh, so the brightness can go up quite a bit there, which is good. So we have some gaming settings. We've got a game mode, streaming mode, MMO, racing game, FPS, default. Probably let's go to FPS before we get started on CSGO. It does feel smooth, which is exactly what you want from a monitor when you're playing this sort of game. I think the thing with this monitor is because it's a Razer monitor, you've got the RGB, you've got the certain Razer aesthetic about it, you've got the material back on it. It's very, very much for your Razer fanboys, if I can say such a thing without offending all the Razer fanboys. You know, 165 Hertz, there's nothing really special there. You know, there's tons and tons of 165 or 144 Hertz monitors out there. Now we're even sort of getting to the point where 240 and 360 are starting to, I mean 360 is still fairly new, but 240 is starting to become like the new normal. So all in all, on first impression, it's a fairly solid monitor for me. The aesthetic of it looks amazing. I do like the RGB lighting at the bottom. The stands, although probably wouldn't be perfect for some because it doesn't have all the functionality that you normally see in a stand. Again, it looks really, really cool. In the right setup, this monitor is going to look amazing. I like the bright green wires. It's very, very Razer. This is almost like the perfect Razer fanboy monitor, like I've said, and I am a Razer fanboy. In terms of the actual just first impressions on the gameplay, very, very smooth, really, really nice. Yeah, pretty impressive, to be honest. It's gonna be very interesting to test it and see how it stacks up. So thanks for watching. Really, really appreciate you watching the video. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Give me a thumbs up. and get in the comments and let me know what you think. I know that this monitor has been out for a little while, but you know, if you've not seen it yet, or if you have it and you have something that you want to tell me about it, then get in the comments and let me know. Thanks for watching.